They'll insure anyone. They offered to insure Jeff Bezos's trip to space. Ed and I were talking about having Patrick Adair Designs, my jewelry company, be the sponsor for VINwiki for a month of the year. And we were talking and saying, what's something that we could do to make use of this collaboration that we're doing? So I was like, Ed, you buy all these cool, great cars with these crazy backstories and you end up making money off of them. I want one of those. You probably get 1,000 DMs a day. So I knew it was kind of a long shot, but I was like, Ed, I know you get this a lot, but maybe what we could do is I have you pick a car for me. I don't even see it. I give you a budget. I say, go out, buy a car, and then get it delivered to me. And we can kind of use that as a way to like, hey, we're sponsoring the VINwiki channel and all of that. So I thought like that'd be a perfect idea. So Ed thinks it over. He kind of likes the idea, but it's a little bit kind of hesitant to pick a car for me. That's a lot of like responsibility, and he doesn't know what my likes and interests are and everything. But I told him, like, I mean, it's fine. I trust you. You're great at buying cars. But he's like, you know what? I've got a secret car that I haven't told anyone about. You might want to buy it. I wasn't going to sell it at all, but the more we're talking, the more I think it might make sense. And it's the Diablo with this crazy backstory. It's a wild car. It was stolen back in the day. It went to hell and back pretty much. And I bought one lemon from you and I didn't regret that. So let's make it number 2. Decide to buy the car, agree to it, and then we get transportation worked out, ships over to Utah. It ends up being quicker than I thought. So I was out of town. So my friend takes delivery of it for me. He kind of drives it around the block. Looks great. Everything seems fine. Parks it in the garage for me. Awesome. Meanwhile, I'm out of town figuring out insurance for this thing because I'm looking into it. I'm like, oh no, like this is tricky. I tried to get a quote from the regular guys and they're just like, no, we won't insure that. Like, absolutely no way. So I talked to Ed about it. We try to figure out the situation. He recommends I try out Haggerty or a couple other different places. And we go and I get talking with an agent and everything seems great. Everything seems fine. It's probably going to be a bit expensive, but that's all right. I was also trying to get a quote for my RWB at the time because they're very similar situation vehicles, older cars. So we get going through talks and they say, hey, are you not 25? I said, nope, I am in fact not. And they said, we will not insure you. I said, oh, okay, well, great. So we ended the situation, the phone call there. I called around to every insurance place that I could get a hold of. Universally, I found like we either do not insure exotics or we do not insure people under the age of 25. So I'm like, this is bad. I've got this car that I bought that's in my garage at home. I can't insure it. What am I going to do? I end up reaching out to a friend who his dad is the owner of this insurance company that says they'll insure anyone. They offered to insure Jeff Bezos's trip to space. So that's what they're known for. So I reached out to him and he's like, we can insure you all right, but it's not going to be cheap. He recommended I speak to, I think, an Allstate agent who kind of represents Haggerty, but through his buying power, for whatever reason, I don't have to be 25. So in a roundabout way, I finally get it insured. It's very expensive. I've driven it maybe 2.5 miles and I pay $500 a month to keep that thing insured at my house. So that is the unfortunate insurance situation of that vehicle, but I can assure you there's no one that I know of that will insure it for cheaper. Please feel free to reach out if you think that's different. So that's the situation. I get home and I see the car, like, wow, what a sight to behold. Seeing it in person and just seeing this massive just boat of a vehicle. It's wider in the back than it is at the front. It's this crazy wedge shape, and the cabin is so small. You've got like 40 feet of space for the massive V12 in the back, and then the front's not large, but it's big, but you've got this teeny little cabin. You have to wear the right shoes. These shoes I could not wear because I'd hit the clutch and the brake at the same time. So I'm like, what on earth? Like, this is a funny, quirky car. And I started up and it is loud. It has got the coolest exhaust note to it. It's got that iconic V12. It's everything I ever wanted in a supercar. It's got the scissor doors that go up, the Lamborghini. It's got carbon fiber all over it. I'm like, this is so cool. I feel like I would be something in the 90s. This is great. So I take it out on a few test drives. I take friends out in it. I never really go too hard on it, but I do a couple of times. I wait for the engine to get nice and warm. Probably my 4th short little drive on it. I hadn't even announced the vehicle on my channel yet. I was waiting to, I was busy that week. I was going to do it next week, and we're going to take the car out and drive it around. Like, it's going to be so fun. So there's just these short little for fun drives because I, obviously wanted to drive the new vehicle. So I taken it out, and I rev it pretty high. I didn't redline it by any means, but rev it up in first gear and then switching into second, and I can't get it out of first gear. I'm like, uh-oh, this isn't good. So I'm like, okay. And I think it's making some sort of like a weird noise a little bit. So I kind of pull over and I can smell a little bit of clutch smoke. I'm like, uh-oh, this is not too good. So I wait a second, I start it back up, start driving back down the road, and it does function. I am able to shift gears again. I'm like, okay, but it definitely feels like something's off. The clutch sounds like it's on its way out. Something is gone, something's messed up. So like, all right, take it out, bring it back home, and park it. And then the next day, I'm like, it's a good idea. Let's try to take the Diablo out again. So I went ahead and did that. I get about 200 yards down the street from where I live, and same issue. I'm turning around, I'm locked into first gear. I'm like, what's going on? I can't get it out, and it's kind of tough. But I finally do. I get it into second gear. I'm like, okay. And I have to I'm kind of like rev matching it, trying to like force out of gear, trying everything that I can. I get it. And I limp it back home, and I'm turning to go up my driveway. It's not steep, but it's a little bit of an incline. And it stops on me again, locks out. I'm like, oh no. And it's a convertible, and so I've got the roof off, so it's nice. So I try to pull it out of first gear, and it won't. And I finally get it out, but now it won't go back in. And it was in first gear, but it wasn't going anywhere. The clutch was like stuck or something. So I pull it out, and it won't go back in. It won't go back in. I finally rev it up pretty high, try to rev match it, and like slam it into gear, and it goes in all right, but it's not moving. Smoke comes billowing out of the iconic gated shifter. I've never seen that before. Not out of the engine bay, not of anywhere else, straight into the cabin through the gated shifter. That's why I mentioned the roof was off. Thankfully, the roof was off. Just the biggest plume of clutch smoke you've ever seen. And we go, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and assume we're not getting this vehicle to move under its own power. So we then proceed to push it into the garage, and there it sat until about a week or two later. We tow it over to our shop. Diablo clutch, you can't access without pulling the entire engine. Thankfully, the whole point of what I'm doing with this vehicle is a restoration, so we were going to probably do that anyways. So I ended up filming an announcement video and saying like, here's the car, here it is, we'll get it started, and we secretly pushed it out of the driveway and revved it up. I'm like, wow, what a cool car, talking about it. But then we broke the news at the end, but we can't go on a little test drive because it doesn't drive, and we pushed it back in the garage. I said, we're going to have to crack into this and get back to that. So it has not driven since then. As of recording this, it still isn't drivable, but we're very, very close. So we took it over to the shop, documented the whole thing, but essentially we pulled the engine out through the back, up and out of the car. It comes with the transmission. We couldn't get the shifter detached, so the shifter even came out with it. We crack apart the transmission from the engine. We've got access to the clutch. And we notice there's a lot of black powder in the bottom of the bell housing of the transmission. So we're like, wonder what that could be. So we pull the clutch out. First half of the clutch, a little bit worn. It looks fine though. Like, okay. Pull it out a little bit more, flip it around. The clutch is gone. It's in pieces all over everywhere. I'm just like, okay, yep, the clutch is definitely blown. So then we go about sorting that out. I ended up getting it rebuilt for very cheap rather than having to buy a new one or a used new to me one for thousands of dollars, $3,000 or $4,000. I had a Lamborghini mechanic friend who recommended a place I could take it to, got it fixed for relatively affordable. And we're putting it back together, and I realized the throwout bearing is still in there, and we never looked at that. So we pull it out, it's all caked in clutch dust and everything, and we pull it out and we realize like this has been rebuilt or something at some point. It looks like it's been pried into. We're like, shoot, we should probably replace this, especially like on a vehicle like this where we're trying to restore it. If it's questionable, it gets replaced. That's just kind of the mentality you have to have. So we're like, oh no, we know we can get clutches, but these throwout bearings are a lot more of like a niche, weird sort of thing. We look online, sure enough, they don't have any, and we're just like, oh no, like, how are we supposed to get one? There's none listed on eBay, none. So we put it back in, and we're like, maybe we could try to get one built by Lamborghini And in the meantime, we'd run it on this one. Hopefully everything's fine. Worst that could happen is it seizes up and we have to pull the engine back out again, which is a pain, but whatever. We put it back in and it seized. By cleaning it, we didn't do anything aggressive or anything to it, but it had seized in that time. So this throwout bearing was on its way out. It's probably damaged in the process of the clutch being blown and all of that. So we then start the process of trying to find one of those. Long story short, we ended up finding there was just one in stock at the USA Lamborghini warehouse. We were able to get that overnighted to us. That was the last one. If not, we'd have to have it made in Italy and wait who knows how long, 6 months, 2-3 years. So I've heard wild, terrible wait times for that. So very fortunate to have that back in stock. And at the current moment, it looks like we're going to be able to get the thing driving, and we shouldn't have any of those 2 to 3 year waits that we're trying so desperately to avoid.
Premier Financial Services has been a sponsor of the VINwiki YouTube channel for the last 4 years, and we love them for that, but we also love their Simple Lease. It's one of the most powerful tools in the world of exotic car financing. It allows you to minimize your payment, minimize your down payment, have the flexibility to move in and out of cars, and take all of the advantages that are available to a leasing structure. So check them out at the link in the description below. We appreciate their continued support of VINwiki, and since you heard about them last here on the channel, they were actually acquired by First Financial Bank USA. And what does that mean for you? It means they're now larger than any of the other exotic car banks you may have heard of. They can move faster, buy more deals, and give you even better customer service. So thank them for their continued support of VINwiki and use them as your tool to buy your dream car soon.